Yeah. Are you subscribed?
Yeah, I'm subscribed. Are you subscribed?
I'm subscribed. Are you subscribed?
If not, do it now.
It's only two buttons.
What is going on, guys? We are here. Don't worry. Your weekly Monday Night Raw review underway. We're going to get right into it tonight. It was a fantastic Monday Night Raw, really top to bottom. I got nothing to complain about, but I got a lot I want to talk about. So we'll start with the show. We'll start where the show started with Jey Uso. Paul Heyman coming out, not expected. Didn't see that coming, to be honest. And, I'm going to start off by saying this. I believe I posed the question to you last week. Why is Seth Rollins not going after the World Heavyweight Championship? After beating Punk, after beating Roman, there's a little bit of a holdover. Logan gets involved last week, but we got exactly that tonight. We got Seth Rollins going after the World Heavyweight Championship, and I'm here for it.
Let me tell you, I would have thought from that segment, oh, we're going to get it at Backlash. And I even texted you. I was like, all right, I guess we get it at Backlash and we get Jay Logan Money in the Bank, which, by the way, Backlash will be live for this Saturday. Come hang out with us. Come talk wrestling. I immediately thought that. I'm like, all right, I can get behind that. Like, that's not too crazy. Then they're like, tonight. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I can get behind that even more.
Yeah, it was a great match, too. Obviously that closed the show, so I'm going to be jumping around a little bit, but a fantastic matchup. I do like that they just went right for it, had the match tonight. We kind of saw where it was going. Again, fantastic match, but we had predicted, Sammy comes out, this, that, whatever. But I'm not, listen, I feel like I'm on the opposite side of the Logan Jay thing. I'm not in love with it, but I don't hate it like the Logan Jay match is getting from a lot of what I'm seeing. But the Logan Jay match, if they're going to do it, I just want them to do it. I would have rather that been at Backlash, to be honest, just to get out of the way. I don't know if I want that to hold over till Money in the Bank, but I expect it to at this point. It kind of is what it is. It's maybe me nitpicking a little bit. I just can't be mad at Seth Rollins getting involved in this title picture. Braun Breaker by his side. It was great, man. It started great with Paul Heyman. I mean, man, he was cooking to open Monday Night Raw.
Dude, I know his fucking heart rate and his blood pressure were through the roof.
Yeah. The segment backstage, which wasn't for a little bit after that, he was dripping. He was sweating his ass off. He was going hard. And even that backstage segment, he was great in with Braun. It's fantastic stuff right now. I get it. It's a little bit of a slow period. There's a lot of hate going around right now with the releases and this, that, and all this crazy stuff going on. But jam packed tonight. That was great.
Yeah, from beginning to end, it was a really fucking good show. I mean, I texted you that I was like, this is much better and faster than SmackDown. Not faster because it was shorter, but faster like the segments just went. And
I was going to bring it up. It just flows so much better, man. It flows so much better.
Tonight's Raw was one of those where you're like, Raw has been clicking for a while. And although it's had a few weeks here and there where it's like, all right, this is just kind of any other Raw. For the most part, especially since the Netflix deal, Raw every week has been good. Like, this was another one where it was like, this isn't a post-Mania hangover. This is, this was a good show from beginning to end. Since we are talking Heyman and that whole story, we'll jump to the end. Didn't see Punk coming back. As crazy as that sounds, I'm sure people are, how could you not see him?
Yeah. Are you watching the show?
Fucking relax. I obviously expected him at some point, and I also didn't expect Rollins to win the title tonight. I don't know if they make the tag match of Punk and Zayn versus Rollins and Braun Breaker for Backlash. Hell, that might, if they do make it, it might get made while we're recording this video.
Yeah.
The card already has, what, 4 matches or 5? And
5.
Most of them are Raw matches. I think there's only, what SmackDown matches even are there? Just this
Fatal 4-Way.
Oh, the
US Fatal 4-Way, yeah.
So it's 3 Raw, 2 SmackDown right now?
Correct, yeah. 2 IC, Fatal 4-Way, John Cena match.
Gunther match.
And Gunther, of course, yes, yep.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't fully expect them to add that. Hell, honestly, like, I could see that being a match for maybe Saturday night's main event. Like, that could be the main event of Saturday night's main event.
Yeah, I think that's...
on, probably not.
It will still be on that card, though, I think. I think that might fill the Saturday night's main event slot. I don't hate it at all. Punk returns. It's great. Braun and Seth are fantastic right now. I, of course, love Sammy. It's just a little like it should be Roman. It should be Roman and Punk. Sammy's getting kind of squeezed into that slot while Roman's just not really around. I don't know. It's not hitting as it's still fantastic. I'm loving this, but I feel like it's got to be Roman in that slot. And they're going to get there, but
You want
what's with the holdover?
you want the you want a fantasy book right here?
All right, that's fantasy book.
Some people are gonna shit all over this, but I
Yeah.
don't give a fuck. We're spitballing as usual.
Hmm.
What if we do get a Sami Zayn heel turn?
Yeah,
What
no.
if Roman Reigns does come back?
Hmm.
Say Zayn and Punk lose, and Reigns does come back and tries to take care of business, maybe even helping Punk a bit. And Sami Zayn, holy shit, this fucking guy again. I was there for
Hmm.
him all this time, and now he's showing me up. Like he thinks I need his help. This is a mess that he created, and I'm in the thick of it. And he want all I've done for him. He only shows up because it's convenient for him.
You sound like Heyman.
I mean, it is as easy as it could be. If
Yeah.
the plan was to turn Zayn, which I don't think so. I said last week the seeds are there for Rollins to win the title and Zayn eventually beat him. So I'm not saying this is going to happen. But if their plan was to turn Zayn heel, it is quite easy. You have him team with Punk, even though he doesn't want to. They lose, Reigns comes back, and Zayn says, fuck this, man. Fuck this guy.
Hmm. It's not impossible. I think a Zayn heel turn is a little bit less likely than
Yeah,
it
for
is
sure.
likely just based on the, again, eventual prediction that Zayn wins the belt. But I can't rule it out. There was definitely a little bit like they were playing with the fans a little bit when they had Jay come out post Mania on Raw and Sammy come out. They were making it look a little weird for a reason. Again, I'm really all for whatever they all get mixed up in at this point. Roman coming back, he should be in the mix. I understand it's Roman, part time, this, that. It's just a backlash, but it's kind of not just a backlash. All these other PLEs now have been great. They've been big. So I don't know. Why not get Roman on that card, I guess, in the tag team match? Punk coming back, that was fantastic. That was super unexpected tonight. It leads me to wonder, though, forget Roman even for a second. End of that match, the end of the show. You got Paul, you got Rollins, you got Bron on that ramp. Paul ain't getting in the ring. But you got Punk, you got Sammy, you got Jay in the ring. Who the fuck they adding? I don't know if it's going to come next week. I'm not saying it's going to come that soon. But at what point does Rollins go, oh, we're down a man. I got to bring in another guy. And I think we predicted it. I think eventually Big Bronson Reed is getting added to this group.
I completely agree. That's also why I was mentioning if the plan was to turn Zayn heel, that would even
Yes.
out the numbers of Zayn, Rollins, and Braun Breaker versus Punk,
Punk, Roman.
Roman, and Jay.
Yeah. Which I don't want Sammy
No.
in the group. I'm okay with the Sammy heel turn, but he shouldn't be with Rollins and Braun.
Yeah, I don't need it.
Mhm.
I still think what we have originally said is what's going to happen. I think so. It would make sense for Big Bronson Reed. It's like for my only issue is it's still so quick. I mean, they're gonna have time. Let's be real. Jay's gonna go back to this Logan story.
Yeah.
They'll have a few weeks with Punk. Who
Exactly.
knows? They haven't even announced the match. Maybe it isn't Saturday night's main event.
Yeah.
Maybe it isn't until Money in the Bank. I mean, that buys you a few weeks right there. I don't know. It's hard to imagine those guys wouldn't be in Money in the Bank qualifiers.
Mhm.
So there's
They're
also
showing the
that.
numbers. They're showing that it's
Yeah.
3-2, but it's still really 2-2 right now because Jay is kind of in other stuff.
Yeah. So there's definitely plenty of routes, and it's just so much better.
Take my money. Just take
Yeah.
my money. It's all so great right now.
Yeah. So enjoyable. I mean, to get to other stuff from Raw,
Mhm.
because this really was a packed Raw.
Yeah.
The Intercontinental title.
Mhm.
This is exactly how it should have been during a majority of Braun Breaker's title reign, and it was at times, but it's how the US title is right now, and they've
Mhm.
like gone in spurts of doing it and not doing it. All of these stories being intertwined but still having one or two nucleus that it goes back to. And for this, the Intercontinental Championship. Okay, yes, Dom is at the center. You have Finn and the beef there. You have AJ and his beef with both of them. You have Penta, his beef with them. You also mix in Chad Gable, his beef with Penta. Then you also bring back Sheamus, who will be in the mix soon. Like, this is exactly how it should be. There's so much talent.
Mhm.
Then it even mixes in, you got the tag titles, the tag champions kind of start to get mixed in. Like, the intertwined storytelling and people not just being alliances because they are heels and faces, but because of logic.
Mhm.
This is the good stuff. And honestly, like, not to like, this is gonna sound weird. They almost got away with it or got away from it during the Mania build because they were so hyper focused on the Mania build that it's
Mhm.
almost like we forgot about this good stuff that they did all the time. That
Yeah.
like the last month before Mania, you weren't getting the intertwined stories. You weren't getting like the all these puzzle pieces fit together into one massive story. Like, we're finally back to that, and it should have never left to begin with.
Yeah, it's great to see. It gives us options. It gives them the ability to kind of listen to the crowd and see things through and determine what to do based on that. Is it best for this title to stay on Dom, go on Penta? Maybe Styles grabs it. Who knows? There's guys like Karrion Cross in the mix in places and whatnot. There's a lot of talent to be used, and I'm glad they're getting used. Loving the Dom IC title run. Wanted him to win at Mania, predicted that one correctly. And the Finn Judgment Day beef, it's coming to an eventual split. Might be a face turn involved for one side of the teams, and there's still so many questions even involved in just that. There's this whole IC title picture within the Judgment Day, but then there's also just kind of the Judgment Day story and their split. And where does JD go? And who is Dom going to go face? And I mean, we saw it tonight. Finn was backstage talking to Roxanne, and not to read
Roxanne, Roxanne.
not to read too deep into that, I guess, because we see people talking backstage in a lot of segments nowadays, but some have come to fruition in the future. So are they setting up a potential like a new Finn, JD, Roxanne, Julia stable of sorts? Is that the counterpart to Judgment Day? Who knows? Maybe that's a little fantasy booking as well, but there's just so many avenues right now. I don't even think that's all really fantasy booking because it's not like we made up Finn talking to Roxanne. It might mean nothing, but it was on TV.
Hell, Finn was seen with Liv a trillion times before that actually ended up
Mm-hmm.
happening. And
Yeah.
then, the split of the Judgment Day, like, look, it could just be a swerve. We for a while we thought Karrion Cross may join the Judgment Day because
Mm-hmm.
of how much Dom was talking to him, whatnot. Like, there's definitely some that are just breadcrumbs to send you down the wrong path, make you think one thing's coming and another thing ends up happening. But there are times where it's, yep, this is the moment that you'll track back to when a turn happens or a new group is made or whatever. And it's, all right, there it
Mm-hmm.
is. Similar to when Alpha Academy became American made, Chad Gable constantly talking to the Creed brothers and Ivy
Mm-hmm.
Nile, and then the split happens. Sometimes these do actually lead to a massive story. And was tonight the night? I mean, we've gotten months of Finn, doing that quick snap and going back to him joking, which I'm glad we're harping on this. That is so good because it is so realistic. You ever like it is like noticeable in life, especially back like when you're younger, maybe in friend groups or school settings, whatever, and it's clear someone gets pissed off about something.
Mm-hmm.
Something gets under someone's skin and they have like one of those quick reactions and then they do like a quick read of the room and they're like, "Oh fuck, I got to play it off like I was just fucking around." And
Yeah,
they do like
yeah,
the,
yeah,
I'm just messing with you, man. I'm not actually mad. And they're like, oh, fuck. Like, I hope I didn't just fucking lose the room here. Like, that is genuine. That is real. Like, those things happen. That is how a split should happen. It shouldn't just be you guys, started liking this person more than me. Like, no, that feels like there's personal shit going on. Like he's a
Yeah.
genuine human being and having genuine reactions, not fabricated. Love it.
It's three words really. It's long-term storytelling. They've been doing it for a while, but it pays off. Finn's been fantastic. I hope it pays off for Finn. I don't maybe he does win the IC title. Maybe that's enough. Maybe even more. I need a payoff for Finn eventually within this entire story. But just to kind of touch on a couple other smaller things from Raw. You mentioned in that whole thing, Alpha Academy crushed by Rusev in his first match back. Nothing too crazy outside the fact that I think Rusev looks great. I want more Rusev, man. I think he looks great. I like the little kind of style they're going. They could have brought him back face. He's a big, mean old heel. I'll take it. I like it.
Dude, I love it. I love
Yeah.
this is the best way to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, yeah, face Rusev would have been fine. Like I would have been like, "Oh yeah, this is cool." They needed to be heel. Like
Yeah, I
we
don't.
need to get away from the happy Rusev day. Like
Yeah.
that's
Mm-hmm.
years ago.
Yep.
I want to
Rusev would have got
see
lost in the mix.
absolutely.
Yeah, he has way more potential to shine in this current spot. So I'm glad he's a heel. I'm glad they're going this route. Want to see more of Rusev. Want to see more of our boy Shamey. Sheamus returns. Love it.
So I'm glad you mentioned him right after because during the Rusev match, I was thinking to myself, like, all right, Rusev's obviously going to keep beating the shit out of Alpha Academy a little bit. Maybe he'll goozle someone else that's,
Who's gonna save him?
not so much that, but who's going to be the first legit guy that he
Yeah,
faces?
yeah. Sheamus
And I
fits the
think
bill.
Sheamus might be that guy. I mean, they have the history, they have their actual friends.
Mm-hmm.
They've both been around, they're former stable partners. Like, there is something there. And then on top of it, face heel, they'll beat the shit out of each other in a match.
Yeah, big
I
time.
think that might be like the perfect match made in heaven for Rusev's like first legit opponent. No disrespect to Otis and
Mm-hmm.
Tozawa, but his first legit opponent, legit story. It might be Sheamus.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really see who else fits the bill right now. I feel like there's a lot of other guys we just went over, but they're all kind of in the mix in something right now. There's maybe some, I don't want to call them leftover names, but there's maybe some other names within the same category that I would throw Otis and Tozawa in right now. I can definitely see him picking up a couple feuds down the line, but Sheamus seems like the first big win for Rusev. I imagine that is coming. Speaking of a big win that I won't be happy about, Becky's taking that belt on Saturday. Lyra's been great. That's all I want to say about it. Lyra's fantastic. Sorry you're going to lose the belt.
It's actually funny. We have mentioned how like we didn't get Lyra.
Mm-hmm.
And now we're all on board. Now we're all right,
Yeah.
I'm in. The quickest way to lose me is have her drop the title to Becky. I know like the old adage, like you have them lose to build them back up and get the. I don't think that happens.
I don't think it happens. I think the story's for Bayley, which no shade on Bayley. I think Bayley's great, but it's not clicking for me. It should be about Lyra right now.
And Lyra, look, if they have Lyra legit just win, I mean, it's not impossible Bayley helps her win.
Yeah.
But if they have Lyra beat Becky and go on to a different story, fucking bravo. I don't think it'll happen, but bravo. Like, I'm already latching on to Lyra. You'll really have me if you have her go over Becky and she goes into another feud after.
Yeah, and you just have Becky and Bayley feud. Becky and Bayley, like, cool. If that's the feud they want them to have, they don't need the belt for that.
No.
That's that. There's a lot more to go after than just that. Becky said whatever in her promo tonight. Bayley's garbage. That's not enough. That's garbage. Okay, come on. Like, there's more history there than her attacking Bayley just because Bayley's garbage. I don't know. It's not quite clicking for me. Let them have their own little feud. Keep the belt on Lyra. Let her go into more things. So many complaints over this last week of, again, people that were cut, a lot of the women that were cut. Put other ones to use then. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, and I mean, they definitely have the people on the roster right now. I'm enjoying Roxanne had another match on Raw. Her and Julia they're in the thick of it.
Yeah.
What was potentially a backlash match we're getting on Raw, the tag match of Roxanne and Julia versus Rhea and Io. My only gripe with it, as much as I do like it, it is fire. If they never win, I'm not going to care.
Yeah.
Like, cool, Roxanne Julia or Roxanne Io tonight, very fun. Julia comes out after, cool, very
Hmm.
fun. This is like the fourth time Roxanne's faced either Io or Rhea recently, and she's lost every single one of them. Yeah, she's competitive. Like, yeah, she's, facing the next level, so I don't expect her to win all these matches. But it is the same as like keep losing singles matches against these people. What makes me think that they're gonna win the tag match? Like that's
Yeah.
I
Roxanne
have
is
I have like no interest in the tag match next week when I should, because the match itself will be good.
good. Yeah.
But there's zero reason to believe that Roxanne and Julia are gonna win. I say that and they'll probably fucking win now, but you get what I'm
Yeah.
saying.
I can't necessarily compare Roxanne to a particular superstar right now, but there's been plenty of them over the years where you're in a spot where you can lose a bunch of matches and still kind of keep your level. Where Roxanne's not at that positioning at the moment. Like Roxanne and Julia will need a win or two eventually to kind of keep growing. How many times can you lose in a row before? I think they've lost 5 or 6 times in a row. Maybe we should move on to somebody else. They
On
have to make sense.
NXT and
Yes, yeah, and
Raw.
Raw. You have to make sense out of it all. Tag match on Raw next week. Yeah, it's better than it being on Backlash. Again, it's going to be a great match, but I don't think the story is really there for it to squeeze into that Backlash card, especially considering it's only 5 matches. And if you're gonna add a 6 match, it's got to be like the Sammy J mix, whatever they want to do there. So makes sense being on Raw. Be a good match. We'll see where they go with it.
Before we get to our last notable topic,
Mhm.
our GOAT, I did want to mention that I forgot to mention before with the Jay Seth main event. Like, very fun.
Great match.
You already know there are some brain dead fucking morons that will be complaining that Seth lost to the world heavyweight champion and didn't beat him. I know he didn't lose, but
Yeah.
Seth didn't beat the world heavyweight champion, and they made Seth look but like, there's gonna be, or on the flip side they're gonna be like, Jay was about to lose to Seth Rollins, as if these guys aren't all on like such a higher level.
Hmm.
We talked about it plenty of times, like Punk, Rollins, Reigns, like these guys are their own champions. Losing
Yep.
to them or them losing, it doesn't matter.
Yep,
Neither of
that's the
them, they don't
comparison to
get hurt.
Roxanne. Like Rollins he's in a spot where he should be winning matches, yes, but Rollins could lose 100 more matches and he's still Seth Rollins.
Yeah.
Him versus Jay again. It was a fantastic match. Looking forward to see what's to come from that. I know some people aren't too happy, but I am looking forward to seeing Gunther tear Pat McAfee apart because it's coming.
Land the fucking plane, Pat.
Yeah, Pat's promo, it was fine. It was good. It was stretched a bit too long. It was too much. It was a little too far.
He
Gunther,
hit, let's be real, bro.
yeah.
He hit props to him. I'm not expecting him to be a fucking god on the mic
Yeah, yeah,
because,
yeah.
he's obviously he was a fan. I'm not expecting him to cut fucking John Cena level promos. But if there was a checklist,
Babyface cheap pops.
oh my
yeah,
God.
yeah,
The town
yeah.
you're in, the
Mhm.
local sports team, shout out
Yeah.
the sports players, make reference to your opponent if they were in a different company or had a different name, like
Walter.
yeah,
Yeah, all that.
exactly.
Yeah, yeah,
Make
yeah.
make reference to that. Like, he was checking all the boxes and he did it in 40 fucking minutes. Like, dude,
Yeah, it
land the
was
plane, Pat. Like, it's not a bad promo, but holy shit, bro.
yeah, it was just long, in my opinion. Like there were cheap pops and there were cheap babyface pops, of course, but the crowd was reacting. They seemed to enjoy it.
Yeah.
I thought it was fine. His section of it was a bit long, Gunther, on the other hand, I mean, he's the C2 go for a reason, man. That guy is the absolute best. And I've been saying it for a few weeks now, ever since he attacked Michael Cole and McAfee, that it seems like they're kind of making another level of Gunther. I really think, not going to say McAfee gets no offense on Saturday, but I think Gunther is going to destroy McAfee, and we're getting an evolved level of Gunther coming soon.
I'll say this. Gunther saying, "Only the grace of God can remove my arms from your neck." If he says that, and for some godforsaken reason, he does not choke Pat McAfee damn near lifeless,
Mm-hmm.
it will be the biggest travesty in wrestling history.
So I think they're playing off the back of Gunther tapping out, and I think Gunther's next matter of opponents are all going to be choked out. I think that's going to be Gunther's kind of way to gain that credibility back from him tapping himself. Gunther's promo again, man, he's incredible. If he said that line to me about not being able to take his hands off your throat, I'd be shaking like Shaggy or Scooby Doo. You know, when they see a ghost, I'd be right there. So, yeah, I'd be scared as could be. So I don't know, man. Gunther's the GOAT. I'm okay with this. I know people are shitting on Gunther McAfee. I get it. Gunther was the world champion off the back of Mania, blah, blah, blah. I'm fine with it. I think what they've been doing so far is okay. Could there be other things? Maybe, sure, but I got no reason to complain. I really don't think there's any reason to complain.
I won't complain if it ends on Saturday. If it doesn't end on Saturday,
yes,
good
that
fucking Lord. I mean, I've
100%.
already complained, but I'll stop complaining if it ends on Saturday.
Yeah, it has to end on Saturday. I mean, I know McAfee seems to be open for a little bit, but this might be him going away for a little while. I'm not really sure. I can't imagine he wins the match. I mean, I'm not gonna hope not. I can't imagine if he gets choked out that he's just back on commentary on Monday. I don't know, at least a couple weeks off, but I don't know. It's looking good though. I think Backlash has shaped up to actually be a pretty decent card all the way around, and Money in the Bank ain't much further away. Hopefully, the build for that can be done pretty well as well. Looking forward to Backlash, though. As you said, we will be live this Saturday, so you got to come hang out with the boys, C2 Wrestling. They're going away, flying away for a little while. So you got to be there for Backlash. We're not going anywhere, but things are going to be a little bit tighter for a little bit. So come hang out.
It's going to be some Raw, or excuse me, some SmackDown after WrestleMania 40.
Yeah.
A lot of Sikoa.
Yeah, a lot of Sikoa going on, but we're not going anywhere. Again, C2 Wrestling is here to stay. At least one half of us has been here ever since we started. So it ain't quite changing yet. But anything else you want to talk about?
We'll have plenty of content. We'll be live this Saturday, as you said. There is so much coming that if you don't subscribe, I'm going to say it. You're a fucking coward.
You're a fucking coward.